Okay, let's imagine the worst-case scenario. You wake up, you grab your coffee, check your portfolio, and your heart just plummets. A company you've put your money into has been hacked, and the funds, they're just gone. Total panic sets in. What do? In a world where your digital assets can literally vanish in the blink of an eye, knowing the playbook isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential. So this is your playbook for surviving those critical first moments.
So just how big is this problem? Take a look at this number, $3 billion. And that's not some all-time total. No, that's just the amount of crypto stolen in 2023 alone. You see? This isn't some tiny niche issue. It is a full-blown industrial-scale threat that really affects everyone in this space.
And we're not talking about 1,000 tiny little hacks either. Look at this, $37 million. That was from just one single attack on the CoinsPaid platform. One breach. Some folks are even pointing the finger at the Lazarus Group, a highly sophisticated state-sponsored hacking organization. It just goes to show you the catastrophic damage one successful hit can do.
So how in the world do we deal with all this? Well, we need a roadmap. First, we're going to dig into the real threat these hackers pose, and more importantly, how they get in. Then we'll cover exactly what to do in that crucial golden hour right after an attack and how you can actually go on the offensive. We'll also tackle that really tough question about paying ransoms, and, probably most important of all, we'll go over the 5 absolute keys to protecting your assets so this never ever happens to you.
First things first, let's talk about the hacker's favorite weapon. Why are they so obsessed with Bitcoin? Well, it's pretty simple actually. The transactions are irreversible. Once you send it, poof, it's gone for good. And yeah, the blockchain is public, but trying to link those funds back to an actual person, that's incredibly difficult. It makes it pretty much the perfect tool for cybercriminals. Look, if you want to build a fortress, you've got to understand how the enemy attacks. And when it comes to crypto hackers, there are basically 3 main ways they try to get inside your walls. Knowing these attack vectors, that is step 1, the absolute foundation of protecting your digital life. So let's break them down. What's pretty wild is just how simple these methods can be. First up, private key leakage. You click on one bad link, maybe download some malware by mistake, and bam, your mnemonic phrase is stolen. It's game over. Then you got social engineering. This is where a fake support agent hits you up about some urgent problem. You give them a little bit of info, and next thing you know, they're draining your wallet. And finally, there are the big ones, system vulnerabilities, where hackers find bugs in the code of things like smart contracts or cross-chain bridges and just siphon out funds on a massive scale. Okay, the worst has happened. You've been hacked. The next 60 minutes are what we call the golden hour. It is a frantic race against time where literally every single second counts. What you do next is absolutely critical, and it could be the difference between losing some of your assets or losing all of them.
Here is your immediate do this now checklist. Step 1, transfer everything that's left. Don't even think about it, just do it. Move any and all remaining funds to a brand new, completely secure wallet and just forget about the old one. It's poison now. Step 2, cancel all authorizations. Hackers often get you to sign permissions that let them act for you, so you got to go into your settings and just revoke everything. And step 3, if NFTs or other specific assets are involved, you have to contact that project's team right away. They might actually be able to freeze the stolen assets before the hacker can sell them.
So once you've secured whatever is left, the mission changes. You've stopped the bleeding. Now it's time to go on the attack. This next phase is all about hunting down those stolen funds and bringing in the professionals who can help you fight back. So what does that actually look like? Well, first, you become a detective. You get on blockchain explorers like Etherscan, and you start following the money. Next, you got to assemble your team. Bring in professional security firms that live and breathe this stuff. They've got tools and expertise that you just don't have. And this is so important. Cooperate with law enforcement. Give them every single piece of data you have, because they're the ones who can do the off-chain digging that might just unmask the hacker.
And that brings us to the next part, building your legal war chest. Document absolutely everything. We're talking screenshots, wallet addresses, timestamps, any messages from the hacker. Then you file an official report with the police's cybercrime division. You also need to start contacting exchanges, asking them to blacklist the hacker's addresses. And finally, get a lawyer. But not just any lawyer. You need one who actually gets this space. This is your toolkit for hitting back hard.
Now we get to maybe the toughest, most gut-wrenching question a victim can face. The hacker might actually contact you. They might offer to give you your assets back for a price. And this leads to the million-dollar question, sometimes quite literally, do you pay up?
So let's just put it right out there. Should you pay? I mean, the temptation is enormous, right? You just want this whole nightmare to be over. You want your money back.
and it feels like this is the fastest, maybe the only way out. But is it the right move? Let me be crystal clear. You should never, ever pay the ransom. And here are 3 huge reasons why. First, you have 0 guarantees. You're making a deal with a criminal. They could just take your money and vanish, or worse, come back and ask for even more. Second, you are literally funding their next crime. Your payment directly encourages them and makes somebody else their next victim. And third, remember what we said at the very beginning? Bitcoin transactions are irreversible. Once you send that crypto, it is gone forever.
You know, we've talked a lot about what to do after you get hit, but the best strategy is and always will be prevention. So let's shift gears and talk about how to build a digital fortress that's so strong, hackers can't even get through the front gate. Honestly, this is the most important part of our entire conversation.
These 5 pillars are your new commandments. They are non-negotiable. 1. Use a cold wallet for any serious amount of crypto. Why? Because keeping it totally offline creates what's called an air gap that a hacker on the internet just cannot cross. 2. Guard your private keys like your life depends on it. Never, ever store them in plain text on any device that's connected to the internet. 3. Use 2-factor authentication on everything, period. 4. Become paranoid about links. If you don't know the sender 100%, do not click it. And 5. Keep your software and your antivirus updated, always. That's your shield against the latest threats.
Now, I know this can all start to sound a little bit theoretical. So let's look at a real-world case that shows just how devastating one tiny lapse in security can be and why these principles we just talked about matter so much. So back in November 2022, Shenbo, who's the founder of Fenbushi Capital, had his personal wallet compromised. The loss was just staggering. $42 million. Of course, the FBI got involved, but the funds were laundered so fast through countless other wallets and tokens. The big, painful lesson for the entire industry was a brutal reminder of the basics. Private key security is absolutely everything, and your response in that golden hour has to be instant.
Okay, so as we wrap this up, let's just boil it all down to 3 essential takeaways. If you remember nothing else, remember this. First, act immediately. The second you even suspect a breach, you move to protect what's left. Second, never pay the ransom. Just resist that urge. You'll probably lose even more money, and you'll just be funding the next crime. And third, prepare in advance. The best defense is always the one you build before the attack even comes.
And really, that all leads us to one final question. In this new age of digital assets, the only real guarantee you have is the preparation you do today. So I want you to take a good, hard look at your own security and just ask yourself, is your fortress built?